for tuning in. Same day, different shit podcast. It's your boy Primo. So I just want to get right into it. The first thing I want to talk about, actually, the only topic I'm really going to talk about right now for the next few minutes. I was talking with one of my good friends, Sam. Appreciate you, Sam. And she was telling me about a post that she had seen, I guess on social media, Instagram, something. And it was a post by Supreme, and it was a Cat Williams Supreme ad, and it was incredible. I didn't know anything about it until she told me. So she said, Pri, you have to watch this, check it out. You just watch it, trust me. And I was like, man, Cat Williams, haven't been too big of a fan recently. Pri, you have to watch it. All right, fuck it, check it out. So I get off the phone with her, and I'm not going to lie, like, I had to watch this multiple times. I'm talking about minimum 6 times, about 6-7 times I saw it. And there were a lot of things on there that I heard that was just blew my fucking mind. And there's a couple things that I just want to touch on just to talk about real quick. And some of the things he said is, and if you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It's incredible. I have a lot more respect for Cat Williams and a little bit more of an understanding of who he is, and the person that he's been over the last few years. He was extremely misunderstood. He started off saying that things in this world are starting not to fit, and right now we have a perfectly suitable clown running the world. These are serious times, and he's absolutely right. In my mind, that's my opinion now. There's going to be, our Trump supporters and all that. That's fine. I don't want to make this a political thing. I just want to kind of touch on what he said and my understanding of it. He says the president's a clown. He goes on to say, who's going to say something that makes sense? If you need me to say something dumb real slow so you can get it, I will do that. Watch how this goes. Gravity is real. Wasn't that simple? You notice how people didn't start hollering, well, bananas matter too. This isn't the time for that. And he's absolutely right. I mean, this is not the time for that. He says, let's stick to the facts, and goes on to say Black lives matter, period. He's not saying Black lives matter more than yours or only Black lives matter. It's just Black lives matter in general. That's it. There's nothing else to it. That's all there is to it. Just Black lives matter. He also goes on to say, I want to apologize if you've seen civil unrest and didn't understand that civil unrest is what happens when every time a place is ruled by the people and the people's needs are not being met. The change that we're asking for as a country, it's not going to happen overnight. We understand that as people. We want to see some action. We want to see something done. And these changes start from the top. The changes will not be made if it does not start from the top. He goes on to say, it might not be the truth, but we deserve the truth. And as a community, yes, Black people do deserve the truth. He also says, this is not the first time that a great country like this has been going through what we're going through. This is not close to the first pandemic. There's been many. Some have not been classified as pandemics, but they have been. And he also says the last pandemic was in the 90s, and it was called AIDS. And he's absolutely right. He also goes on to say, and this is where this is the most, the part where I connected the most on his whole, this whole dialogue, talking about, this is an airborne virus, folks. He says, if you breathe air, put on a mask. And I'm going to stop right there. Put on a mask. It doesn't hurt. It's not going to kill you. This is for your safety and for mine. For the welfare of your family and the welfare of mine. It doesn't matter how you feel, what you think your rights are. You got to think about your family and the next person's family. He also says, and because we can all agree that breathing is important, because I know you can. He says, we can agree that putting your knee on a man's neck for 8 minutes is murder. I don't know about you, but I believe that is. especially with people standing by, just watching, not doing anything about it. And again, I don't want to get political. These are just facts. He also says, for 20 years, I've been telling y'all the police have been out there hurting people. Y'all didn't want to believe me, saying Cat keeps getting in trouble. The whole time, I was just glad I made it out alive. He goes on to say, finally, the chickens have come home to roost. We're going to get rid of racism this time once and for all, no matter what it takes. I'm going to give you a little story about what happened the first time I really experienced racism firsthand. We had went on a trip, family, basically me, my mom, the brothers, sisters, dad. And I can't remember if it was, I believe it was Dallas or Houston. I can't remember, but we stopped and it was late. We stopped at a gas station and, there wasn't very many cars out. It was just us in the car, and we pulled up, and my dad needed a break from driving because he had been driving for a few hours already, and just needed a few minutes of a break. And we pulled up at a gas station, but we pulled up to the side, kind of like an area where they have to put air in your tire or the water, stuff like that. So we pulled off. And this Caucasian woman who worked at that gas station, I'm not going to say the name of the gas station, but a Caucasian woman who worked at that gas station came out. She saw us, bunch of Mexicans in a car, hopped out, and just a bunch of kids, five kids, my mom, my dad. My sister, one of my sisters she had a cup. She was drinking from it, and she had ice in it. And at that time, I didn't really understand. I just thought the lady was being a bitch. But in hindsight, really, you can see that this is what that was. Racism. It's really what that was. And so she's drinking this drink, and she finishes her drink, and she starts throwing ice on the concrete, right in that area. It's just nothing but concrete all the way up until the gas pumps, and it's all concrete. And she comes out and she says, now that I think about it, she grabbed a water hose and said, hey, real loud. But in a mean, ugly, I hate my life voice. Don't be throwing ice on my floor. I'm like, what? What's going on? Don't be throwing ice on my floor. You can't be doing that. Y'all got to get out of here. Oh man, I'm a kid, and I'm like, man, this lady's pretty mean. And my mom and dad looked at each other, and I can still remember those faces that they gave each other. Like, is this bitch crazy? And my sister, she didn't know what the fuck was going on, so she's just like, all right. She continues. She turns on the water faucet with that hose and starts, I guess, trying to clean off the oil stains or tire. I don't know what the fuck she was trying to do. But she was spraying the water on the same concrete my sister was throwing the ice cubes. Now, I don't know about you, but for me, that's just fucking stupid. I don't understand. How can you tell somebody not to throw water on the same spot you're throwing water? Looking back at that, I felt like now, looking back, it was because she didn't like who was throwing. It had nothing to do with the ice. It had nothing to do with the water. It had to do with the fact who was throwing it. We need to unite. We need to come together as people. Fuck this racism. Change starts from the top. Thanks for listening.